All right, today's episode is brought to you by no one. No one is sponsoring today's episode. Let's get down to business. Welcome to another episode of Decon versus the Dark. I am, of course, it doesn't matter. So, I said on my last video that I was going to cover the targeted individual phenomenon that is, apparently it's rampant online. You get a lot of people out there that are saying they're being targeted, and that comes in the form of stalking and all kinds of different things, and how the government's using laser weapons and sonic weapons and all kinds of different things. And there's two sides to this. The one side is these people are telling the truth and they are being targeted, and that's of course what the government wants, is for them to look crazy. The other half is these people are schizophrenic and they are suffering from delusions, because a majority of the people out there will say something like, there's no such thing as a weapon that can target you and make you feel things and all that kind of stuff. Really, sonic weapons? There's no such thing, you crazy person. Go and take your Excedrin or your Midol or whatever pills you need to feel better. I don't even know if Midol is in a pill form, but it doesn't matter. So today we're going to talk about sonic weapons. So, here we go. Sonic and ultrasonic weapons, or USWs, are weapons of various types that use sound to injure or incapacitate an opponent. Some sonic weapons make a focused beam of sound or ultrasound. Others produce an area field of sound. As of 2021, military and police forces make some limited use of sonic weapons. So let's have a look at the deployment here. Extremely high-power sound waves can disrupt or destroy the eardrums of a target and cause severe pain or disorientation. This is usually sufficient to incapacitate a person. Less powerful sound waves can cause humans to experience nausea or discomfort. The possibility of a device that produces frequencies that cause vibration of the eyeballs and therefore distortion of vision was suggested by paranormal researcher Vic Tandy in the 1990s, while attempting to demystify a haunting in his laboratory in Coventry. This spook, I know what that word can also mean, this spook had the characteristics of a gray apparition. Some detective work implicated a newly installed extractor fan found by Tandy that was generating infrasound of 18.9 hertz, 0.3 hertz, and 9 hertz. A long-range acoustic device, or an LRAD, produces a 30-degree cone of audible sound in frequencies within the human hearing spectrum of 20 hertz, 20 kilohertz, and LRAD, LARD, was used by the crew of the cruise ship Seabourn Spirit in 2005 to deter pirates who chase and attack the ship. More commonly, this device and other of similar designs have been used to disperse protesters and rioters in crowd control efforts. A similar system is called a magnetic acoustic device, or the nickname the Mosquito. Sonic devices have been used in the United Kingdom to deter teenagers from lingering around shops in target areas. The device works by emitting an ultra-high frequency blast around 19 to 20 kilohertz. Teenagers or people under approximately the age of 20 are susceptible to and they find it. Oh, sorry guys, I'm stumbling over my word. I have dyslexia. If I try to read too fast here. Anyways, teenagers or people under approximately 20 are susceptible to find uncomfortable. Age-related hearing loss apparently prevents the ultra-high-pitched sound from causing a nuisance to those in the late 20s and above. Though this wholly depended on a young person's past exposures to high sound pressure levels. In 2020 and 2021, Greek authorities used long-range sound cannons to deter migrants on the Turkish border. High amplitude of sound in a specific pattern at a frequency close to The sensitivity peak of human hearing, 2 to 3 kilohertz, is used as a burglar deterrent. Some police forces have used sound cannons against protesters, for example, during the 2009 G20 Pittsburgh Summit, the 2014 Ferguson unrest, and the 2016 Dakota Access Pipeline protest in North Dakota, among others. It has been reported that sonic attacks, and of course I'm in quotes here, you can't see me do the quotes that I'm doing right now because this is only audio, may have taken place in the American Embassy in Cuba in 2016 and 2017. This is called Havana Syndrome. You guys I'll do a separate episode on Havana. Anyways, leading to the health problems including hearing loss and other types of things like nausea and, oh man, it was bad. But we'll cover that next time. In the U.S. and Canadian government employees at the U.S. and Canadian embassies in Havana, however, more recent... That is not written correctly. That's a... What do they call that? A run-on sentence? Anyways, the point is that these people in Havana were experiencing all these... in a specific region. Just in Havana, they were experiencing, like ringing in the ears and nausea, and it's kind of hard for a group of people to fake this, especially when you're watching them vomit and all kinds of stuff. So it has also been reported that China has developed the first handheld portable sonic gun to target protesters. So let's look at the research. Studies have found that exposures to high-intensity ultrasound at frequencies to 700 kilohertz to 3.6 megahertz can cause lung and intestinal damage in mice. Heart rate patterns following vibroacoustic stimulation has resulted in serious negative consequences such as atrial flutter and bradycardia. So if you guys want to look further on that, you guys can look up microwave auditory effect. Affects other parts other than the ears. The extraoral, unrelated to hearing, bioeffects on various internal organs and the nervous system include auditory shifts, vibrotactile sensitivity change, muscle contraction, cardiovascular function, change in central nervous systems, vestibular, or the inner ear, for those of you that don't know what that is, effects, and chest wall lung tissue effects. Researchers found that low-frequency sonar exposure could result in significant cavitations, hypothermia, and tissue shearing. No follow-up experiments were recommended. Tests performed on mice show the threshold for both lung and liver damage occurs at about 184 decibels. Damage increases rapidly as intensity is increased. The American Institute of Ultrasound and Medicine, or the AIUM, has stated that there has been no proven biological effects associated with unfocused sound beam with intensities below 100 megawatts, or 100 megawatts translated to cm square, SPTA, or focused sound beams below an intensity level of 1 megawatt. Noise-induced neurological disturbances in scuba divers exposed to continuous flow, low-frequency tones for durations longer than 15 minutes has involved, in some cases, development of immediate and long-term problems affecting brain tissue. The symptoms resembled those of individuals who had suffered minor head injuries. When you're underwater and somebody's clapping rocks, that can actually really mess you up. It can damage your eardrums. It could cause you to become disoriented. All kinds of... It's all bad stuff. The symptoms resemble those, blah, blah, blah. I already read that. One theory for causal mechanism is that prolonged sound exposure resulted in enough mechanical strain to the brain tissue to induce an encephalopathy. Divers and aquatic mammals may also suffer lung and sinus injuries from high intensity with low frequency sound phases from water into a body, but not into pockets of gas in the body, which reflect the sound due to mismatched acoustic impedance. So, what does all that mean? It means that these weapons are out there. They have been used. It's proven. It's proven that these kind of things have been created to be. I don't even know what to call it. Originally they were made so that they can harm you without appearing like they're harming you, because some people may consider it to be inhumane. So they made something that can actually cause severe damage to you without appearing like it's doing so. A lot of it is also laser guided. Now the technology's out there where they can do it from a vehicle. So to all those people out there that are saying there's no such weapon that can actually cause these type of things, these type of effects, they're actually out there. You just gotta go out there and research it for yourself. And that, I don't know which marble on which jar I'm gonna put this under, schizophrenia or an actual government experiment. But if they were to target individuals using sonic weapons, that technology actually exists and is being implemented in various areas. You can look up things from riot control, crowd control, all these kind of things, and then look at the list of weapons that they use. Anything from tear gas to pepper spray to what they call the Hornet, which is basically a grenade filled with a low amount of gunpowder and rubber balls, which cause them to sting. So they called the Hornet's Nest, and ultrasonic weapons of various degrees. The government's also known to use actual microwaves, which do exactly what it sounds like. They microwave you, but they don't use that. Well, that we know of, we don't know. So these weapons do exist. So you guys can look it up for yourselves. That's all I got for today. I don't know how many parts of this I'm going to do, but let's call this part 1. So just remember, guys, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. Wow, that episode sucked.